Hi there, welcome to another episode of Catechism for Kids here on our channel, where we bring the timeless truths of the Catholic faith to life for kids and the young at heart through fun, engaging videos. Today, I'm your host, and we're diving deep into the incredible story of Jonah and the big fish. So hold on to your hats and get ready for an adventure filled with laughter, learning, and most importantly, the powerful message of God's mercy and second chances. So let's start off with a question. Do you ever run away from your problems? Maybe you hide under your bed covers when it's thunderstorm outside. Or maybe you pretend you're invisible when your mom asks you to clean your room. Well, today's story is all about a man named Jonah, who was a prophet of God. And he did something kind of like that, but much bigger. Let's dive right in. The story of Jonah is found in the Old Testament, in the book that has his name, Jonah. Long ago, God chose Jonah to be a prophet. That means he was like a special messenger who spoke God's words to people. One day, God told Jonah, "Go to the city of Nineveh and tell its people to turn away from their bad ways." God said that because he knew the people of Nineveh were really naughty. They weren't kind or honest. They didn't help the poor or the sick. They were just really, really mean. But God still loved them very much. He wanted them to know that he was sad about their bad behavior and that he wanted them to stop. Now, Nineveh was a really faraway city, and Jonah had to travel there. But when God asked him to go, he didn't want to go at all. Why? Well, Jonah didn't like the people of Nineveh. They weren't Jewish, and he thought they didn't believe in the one true God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who is also our God. Instead, they worshipped many gods and followed strange religions. And Jonah thought they deserved to be punished, not told that God wanted them to change their ways. So instead of obeying God, Jonah decided to run away, got on a boat and sailed away from the city, away from God, away from everything. But after a while, the wind grew stronger and stronger, and soon a huge storm started to form. The waves crashed and roared, and the ship began to crack and shake. All the sailors were afraid, and each cried out to his own God. And they threw the cargo into the sea to lighten the ship. But Jonah had gone below deck, where he lay down and fell into a deep sleep. The captain went to him and said, "How can you sleep? Get up and call on your God. Maybe he will take notice of us so that we will not perish." Then the sailors said to each other, "Come, let us cast lots to find out who is responsible for this calamity." They cast lots, and the lot fell on Jonah. So they asked him, "Tell us, who is responsible for making all this trouble for us? What kind of work do you do? Where do you come from? What is your country? From what people are you?" Jonah answered, "I am a Hebrew and I worship the Lord, the God of heaven, who made the sea and the dry land." This terrified them, and they asked, "What have you done?" The sea was getting rougher and rougher, so they asked him, "What should we do to you to make the sea calm down for us?" "Pick me up and throw me into the sea," Jonah replied, "and it will become calm. I know that it is my fault that this great storm has come upon you." At that moment, Jonah knew what he had to do, prayed to God, asking for forgiveness and help. Just then, a giant fish swallowed him whole. Then they took Jonah and threw him overboard, and the raging sea grew calm. At this, the men greatly feared the Lord, and they offered a sacrifice to the Lord and made vows to him. Now the Lord provided a huge fish to swallow Jonah, and Jonah was in the belly of the fish 3 days and 3 nights. At first, he was scared. But then he started to pray. He said, "In my distress I called to the Lord, and he answered me. From deep in the realm of the dead I called for help, and you listened to my cry. The engulfing waters threatened me, the deep surrounded me. Seaweed was wrapped around my head. To the roots of the mountains I sank down. The earth beneath barred me in forever. But you, Lord my God, brought my life up from the pit. When my life was ebbing away, I remembered you, Lord, and my prayer rose to you, to your holy temple. Those who cling to worthless idols turn away from God's love for them, but one, with shouts of grateful praise, will sacrifice to you. What I have vowed, I will make good. I will say salvation comes from the Lord." And you know what? God listened to Jonah's prayer. After 3 days and nights, God spoke to the fish and told it to spit out Jonah on the dry land. And guess what? It's exactly what the fish did. Jonah crawled out of the fish's mouth, gasping for breath and blinking in the bright sunlight. He was so grateful to be alive and so happy to be on dry land again. And at that moment, he realized that God had forgiven him for running away and not doing what he had been asked. He had given him a second chance. Then the word of the Lord came to Jonah a second time. Go to the great city of Nineveh and proclaim to it the message I give you. And now Jonah knew exactly what he had to do. He had to go to Nineveh and tell the people that God wanted them to change their bad ways. So Jonah started walking towards the city, and the longer he walked, the more his heart changed. You see, before he had been angry and upset with God for sending him to preach to the people of Nineveh. But now he understood that God had sent him to show his mercy and love, not to punish or be angry. When he arrived in Nineveh, Jonah walked right up to the city gates and shouted, "Only 40 days from now, Nineveh will be destroyed." The people of Nineveh were scared, and they believed Jonah's message. They knew that their ways had not pleased God, and they promised to change if he would ask God to forgive them. And you know what? Jonah asked God to forgive them. That's exactly what God did. You see, God doesn't want anyone to be lost. He loves everyone, no matter what. He wants everyone to know that they are forgiven and to have a relationship with him. Jonah was a prophet who learned an important lesson about God's mercy. He realized that God gave him a second chance because he loved the people of Nineveh and wanted them to be saved. Now, this story teaches us some important lessons too. First, it shows us that God loves everyone. He doesn't care if we're perfect or not. He loves us no matter what. Second, it reminds us that God gives us second chances. He doesn't give up on us, even when we make mistakes. And third, it teaches us to be kind and loving to everyone. Just like God loves us, we should try to love and be kind to everyone, even if they're different from us, or if we don't agree with them. As we close this episode of Catechism for Kids, I want you to remember that God's love is bigger than anything, even a big fish. No matter what happens, God never gives up on us, forgives us, and gives us second chances because he loves us so much. Well, that's it for our underwater adventure with Jonah and the big fish. I hope you enjoyed this exciting journey filled with valuable lessons about God's love, mercy, and second chances. Remember, just like Jonah, we can always turn to God no matter what challenges we face. God's love knows no bounds, and he's always ready to forgive us and guide us on the right path. If you liked this episode, don't forget to give us a big thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel so you never miss out on any of our fun-filled faith adventures. Thanks for joining us today. Until next time, may the love of God fill your heart, and may his blessings guide you always. Bye-bye.